The second round, we took Cam Taylor-Britt, corner from Nebraska. We see him as an outside corner, come in here and compete. And we had him in here a couple weeks ago. Love everything he's about. Love his energy. Love his athleticism, his size, his speed. Really competitive guy. Got great feedback from talking to people about him. So really excited to get Cam over here and get back to work.
Did you have any connections there, background on culture in Nebraska?
We talked to quite a few people, and he's oftentimes been compared to Stanley in terms of how he is on the practice field, in terms of kind of the character and the makeup and the energy, and I think that paints a picture for all of us. So that's a good thing.
Zach, to trade up, did it just feel like you couldn't let that one go sliding by?
Yeah, it's that was somebody we identified that we wanted, and you didn't want to risk there with maybe a team or two in front of us that could take him, or someone could jump in front of us and get him, and felt like we needed to do that.
I know you guys said you see him as an outside cornerback, but his background says he played safety too, so his versatility is the theme of what you guys are trying to do with your DBs so far.
Yeah, I'll let Lou speak to more of his background on because he has played a little bit of other things too.
Yeah, again, you kind of see what we've been doing with that stuff, and the more they can do, the better. Some of the techniques that we'll ask them to do will involve playing a deep zone, so that can only help them. And you look at the guy's measurables; he can really run, as Zach's mentioned, and good size, and he's tough, and so the more of those guys we get, the better we'll be.
Was speed the other common thread in kind of your first two picks?
Always, you always want to try to get as fast as we can get, and both these guys can really run.
I know part of his background, Lou said that he was versatile playing both zone and pressing. Does that really matter to you much, the fact that he can do both?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, we want guys to be able to play man to man, because when it comes right down to it, when the rubber hits the road, they have to be able to guard a receiver and stop him from catching the ball. And so he's proven he can do that. He's a good press corner, but he's also shown some flexibility as in playing in deep zones at some safety stuff, but also as a corner. So he's done a little bit of everything, which is great.
Solid tackler, willing tackler.
Very much so. I think that's one of the first things that jumps off the tape is he's going to be a guy that he's not going to be afraid, and he's going to go in there and get guys on the ground. It's just so important with all the perimeter plays we see these days. So you see it right away from this guy.
Zach, was that part of the reason why y'all felt good getting Dax and getting a safety in the first round, knowing that you guys felt good about the depth and corner where y'all were picking today?
It's hard, Dax was just a guy that really almost fell to us, and we felt like he could really help us on defense, and um, you know, but Cam is certainly just in that pocket of players there that we really wanted in the second round, and certainly wasn't sure he was going to be there much longer, so that's why we came up and got him.
When you guys were going into the draft, how important was it to take a cornerback the first couple of picks? I know you can't go into it saying we need one with
Mhm.
this pick, but how important was it to address that spot?
I think that's the best way to put it is we would have liked to take one early like we did. We weren't going to, pencil ourselves in there and make us do it, but obviously the right player was there to where we were able to do it and feel good about it. And what you didn't want to do is say we're going to take a corner and then take one that you don't feel good about. You're crossing your fingers that he's going to pan out. We felt good about this one, and it fit a need for us as well.
Lou, for a defense that was on the rise so much last season, how excited are you with these first two picks to bring these two guys in and really bolster that defense?
Yeah, it's great. Again, anytime we can add talent to our group, we did a great job in the offseason last year, more on the free agency side, and paid dividends for us. And again, we expect these guys to, fit right in and hit the ground running when they get here. But it's great so far, so good.
Lou, how does this add to the competitiveness of not only the cornerback room, the safety room, and the DB room in general?
Yeah, coach's best friend is competition, and we've got some guys that are slotted and have played a lot of good football for us, and these guys will come in and support those guys, and we'll see how it goes from there. But they're going to provide good depth for us for sure.
What does a rookie need to do to be a day one starter?
He's got to go out like we ask all of our players to do. They have to show consistency, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for guys to be the same person, same player every day, and the more that they can do that, the more trust and faith we'll have in them. So it takes time. It's something that we have to build trust in them, and he has to build trust in his teammates too. So we believe in that. So it takes a little bit of time.
To move up 3 spots, give up the 6th-round pick, is it a combination of you're targeting him, but the bucket of players is really dwindling, so you don't want to kind of hang around at 63, go up and get the guy you feel about the best? Is it a dual thing?
You know, he's just a guy we identified that we really wanted to come away with, and so just to risk sitting there for 3 more picks when maybe some corner needy teams would jump up, and I like him as well. We just didn't want to risk that.
What makes Stanley such a good practice player?
Like Lou just said, same guy every day. You know what you're going to get when Stanley walks on the field every day. He's going to bring energy and competitiveness. And however many days he's been here, he has done those 2 things every single day. And so when you hear that comparison of this is what he's going to be like at practice, that's a great thing. That's what we love. We love guys that bring energy and because it's a long season, and that's a hard thing to do. And so the more guys that can bring that, the better the team becomes. The more fun practice is for you guys to sit there and watch that first however many minutes, and for us to be a part of all year. And so that's a really positive thing.
Lou, with your experience as a DB's coach, in your system specifically, what is the one trait you would say to play outside is the most important in your system?
Yeah, I think I would say there's a couple, but at the top of it, they have to be able to run, obviously. But I'm also a big fan of guys with long arms and able to get in and out of plays. So those 2 things play into it, and then ball skills and on from there. But they got to be able to run, and the length also helps them be good tacklers when they have that. So that's why I'm so adamant about that when it kind of comes up.
Zach, Cam did a little bit of punt returning in college. Was that something you discussed at all in the pre-draft process about him?
That's something he's done, certainly. How that factors in remains to be seen. He played quarterback in high school too, so we'll probably put him over there at Wildcat and let him do some stuff as well. But he's a good, well-rounded athlete that obviously has been very versatile. For a guy that played safety and corner and to return punts and quarterback background, those are all really good traits for a guy to have.
You got your top 5 defensive backs back, but you've used your top 2 picks on defensive backs. What does that say about the need for depth at that part of the team and the state of the game right now?
How critical it is, as a 17-game season goes on and you go into the playoffs, that depth is critical. How many teams we see that, come in December in these critical games and they're down, a couple DBs and they're pulling guys off the practice squad. And so I think it's great competitiveness, like Lou mentioned, just for all of our guys. But you're going to need that depth of the course of the long seasons that we're going to have to endure.
Kind of just to follow up on that question with and Zach's answer is, we play so many different things where there's going to be 6 and sometimes 7 DBs out on the field at one time. No other position on the field, offense or defense, is going to do that. So it's just so critical to have depth there for sure in today's NFL.
Is today's NFL the difference in skill set between corner and safety disappearing a little bit? I mean, is there a big overlap in skill set? It used to be like the lines of demarcation between safeties and corners. Is that not as much the case anymore?
I'd have a hard time saying that. There's some guys you can tell are safety bodies and some guys that are corner bodies. Obviously, there's some guys that maybe have done both in their background, and so you can see a little more crossover. But I wouldn't go that far to say it's all the same person.
Agree.
Given all the receivers that have gone off the board in the first 60 picks, how thankful are you T and Jamar for the past couple of years, and you don't necessarily need one early?
Yeah. It's nice. It's a nice luxury to have right now. We feel like we've got those guys, good depth at the position as well. Guys who've been here for a good period of time now. They're even behind those guys. So certainly a lot of weapons in that room, and that's a good thing for us.
How important is it for you guys to be able to dictate what you want to do and basically carry out a game plan in these first couple of rounds so that the last couple of rounds, Zach, you have some wiggle room?
Yeah, I think it's good. You all got your needs, things you want to come away with. You don't want to reach for them. I think so far so good for us. To where you feel like the value there in those later rounds, guys that maybe you had slotted higher than they fall into your lap, and you get an opportunity to add them and feel really good about them in these later rounds.
Lou, you guys drafted safety when you guys went 2 there. You got a corner. Are there guys that you like as starters right now currently? Is that good for these young guys to be around vets who kind of have been around the game for a while and kind of get a feel for things as they kind of break their way in?
Yeah, I think it's critical. I think the first year of any of a rookie player is so important for him in his development, both on and off the field. And when you have solid veterans that can kind of lead them down the right path, that's invaluable. And we have great leaders in that room, guys that will indeed help them. How to study the tape, how to all the little things how to take care of their bodies, all the things that it takes to be a great pro. Cheeto will be in their ears, and Mike, and the whole crew. So we're blessed to have those guys that we have for sure.
Was there a little playful joking that you got a Cornhusker in the draft?
It's a good thing. They bring a certain element of toughness and football character that we like to have here. So you know what you're getting when you get a Cornhusker, and anticipate us being 3 for 3 really in my time here with Ethan Carter and Stanley Morgan and now Cam Taylor-Britt. Those guys are all three good ones that we've had come through here.
You mentioned trading up. Can you kind of characterize what those discussions were? I mean, was there a lot of should we, shouldn't we? And the Chiefs took a corner at 62.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. There you go. They had taken one earlier, so we thought maybe they wouldn't be one that would take one. So that you feel good about that. And I forgot the first part of the question because you caught me off guard there. But Duke does a really good job. Duke and Mike do a good job kind of going back and forth and what we give up. So we felt good about giving up the 6th round pick to get a guy who's going to come in and provide some great competition for us in the 2nd round. And so we felt comfortable there, and I thought our Duke and those guys did a great job handling that. Great poise under pressure by Duke.
So should we be expecting the 3rd round pick to also have a certain tie to you because the first one's from Oklahoma, the second one playing Nebraska?
This is where we're going to grab somebody from New York or New Jersey now.
I think I've run out of ties at that point, So.
Butler transfer at some point, maybe?
What's that?
A Butler transfer at some point?
Yeah, if they were a Bucco kid, then yeah, they're right on our radar. So and Darren too. We're both Jayhawk conference guys back in Kansas. So anybody from Hutch or Dodge or Coffeyville or anybody's usually catches our eye pretty quickly.
So we'll keep an eye out.
Yeah, keep an eye. Do your research on who's gone through that system in this draft.
Has the nickel become almost a base defense in the National Football League now, in terms of percentage of snap?
It's pretty close from what we face offensively, mainly because we utilize so much 11 personnel. We see a ton of nickel. Our defense obviously has to face a ton of different styles of offenses, so you get more of a traditional base defense sometimes. But Mike Hilton logs a lot of snaps for us, so we're a nickel quite a bit.
Yeah, we're over 70-something% this past season. Yeah. Yep.
I think that's got to be pretty close to league average there.